Now, a memorial is being planned for a Wiltshire RAF pilot who died 80 years ago after crashing his plane in Gloucester. Flight Lieutenant Robert Coventry steered into fields in Quedgeley to avoid hitting a school. Two of his colleagues survived. Now, 80 years on, there are plans to recognise his bravery. Here's our Gloucester reporter, Steve Nibbs.
There were flames in the cockpit, and I'm almost reliving this now, telling you, really.
Peter Hickman was just 10 years old when the Bristol Blenheim crashed not far from his school.
I can remember running across these fields, and of course there was the plane burning, and we stood there absolutely shocked. You were unable to do anything. You couldn't get near it. It was a most dreadful feeling, because you felt, I'd say, almost exhilarated as you rushed across these fields to help. The knight in shining armour of a young lad, let's face it. And I felt very, very sad.
Flight Lieutenant Robert Coventry had left his base at RAF Upwood in Cambridge on a training mission. With him, Sergeants George Wilcox and Jackie Lane. Somewhere off the Welsh coast, an engine failed on their Bristol Blenheim, so they jettisoned their bomb load into the sea and planned to land in Gloucester for repairs. But they never made it. Flight Lieutenant Coventry bravely steered the plane away from the school before crashing in a field where he died. Sergeants Wilcox and Lane survived after being pulled from the wreckage. Flight Lieutenant Coventry is buried at Down Hatherley, just a few miles from the crash site. At his grave, a wreath. It was placed there by Helen Tracy. Her mother, who's now 86, was in the school that day in 1940.
She can remember the teachers getting the children out of the school because they were frightened of what was going to happen. If the plane had actually hit the school on that day, Mum would have died, and therefore I would never have been born. I don't know how else to sum it up. I owe my life to him.
With the support of Quedgeley Town Council, Helen and her family are now calling for a memorial to Flight Lieutenant Coventry's bravery, not just to remember him, but also to tell others the story of this forgotten hero. Steve Nibbs, BBC Points West.
That is an amazing story, isn't it? Now, it's